Welcome back to yet another video. Today we're starting the morning off with going to the Lighthouse. This one's called the Hillsboro Inlet Lighthouse. Yeah, I've mainly been to lighthouses in like the South Carolina area, but it's cool to check out this one in Pompano Beach in Broward County, Florida. Gonna go around it and yeah, take a look, so come with me.
Hi, I'm Ralph Krugler. I'm the historian for the Preservation Society. I'm on the board of directors, help with the tours, do a lot of the manual labor. So that's what I do with the volunteer side, but I also work for the Coast Guard here as what's called a lodge host. So we rent out the cottages, the old keeper's cottages, to people in the military of a certain level. Not ranking, but it goes by level. And so it's like their vacation place. So we book those, we take care of the cottages, keep them restored, and pretty much kind of do a lot of tours for the guests, and then once a month we do tours for the general public here.
Very cool. And what's the best way for somebody to learn more about the Lighthouse? A website or social media that you'd recommend?
Ooh, well, there's a lot of problems with the internet with false things being out there. So I do have my own social media for the Lighthouse. The Preservation Society has one, the Hillsboro Lighthouse. If you just look that up, you'll find it. But unfortunately, there were some things that were said in the past that people have just taken, and it's set in stone in their mind, and no matter what paperwork I show them that it's incorrect, they try to fight me on it. So it's like, don't always believe everything you read on the internet.
All right, understood. Thanks for telling me about it. All right, so one thing I'm curious about, the color scheme on this one, it's like black and white. Why are lighthouses colored like in different ways? Like what's kind of like the reason behind it?
It's called a day mark, and basically what that is every ship captain has a book, and it has a detailed list of every lighthouse, and it says what it's made out of, like brick or iron like this one, and the paint scheme is also there to tell them what lighthouse it is. But in this case, the black and the white, if you're out at sea and you saw the black, it showed up against a blue sky, and the white showed up against the vegetation, because there was nothing else here. So there weren't any buildings or anything like that. You just had trees and shrubs and that, and so they would be able to see the lower part against that and the black against the blue sky.
Very cool, very cool. And when was this lighthouse created? So
it was forged in 1906, and it was erected here at the end of 1906 into 1907. And first day of service was March 8th, 1907.
Very cool, very cool. And your title here is you're like the manager or like the historian technically?
Kind of like a little bit of everything, yeah.
Okay. All right, very cool. Guess we could go up to the sign.
Just steps. It wasn't lit in the 1920s, it was 1932. So it wasn't barged down the Mississippi, it was actually taken in lighthouse tenders. It actually got off the ship in Miami, brought on barges, brought up the intercoastal, which was only 5 feet deep back then. So it came up around there, and then there was a group from a construction group that they hired from New Orleans who came down and actually put the thing together down here. So this is all disassembled. If you look at, there's Roman numerals on everything. So that's leg 1, this is leg 8, and as you go up, everything's got a Roman numeral stamp. So as they unpacked it, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they just put the whole thing back together like that. And like they'll give us a check for, let's say when we did the new window replacement. We have a great family who lives right at the canal, and it said, what do you need the money for? Just for the windows? Bam! And she wrote us a check. It was great. But then like you get somebody who, I can only afford $5. Hey, we'll take it, and then we'll get somebody like a business who will donate $1,000 here, or they'll get a lifetime membership. And that's like doing the tours, and we don't really provide tours, we provide memberships, and with that you are allowed to come here 12 times a year, because it's a closed facility, so you can't get in here all the time. So that's pretty much how we raise most of that funding. And then with our gala that we run in March.
And you're right near the yacht club. I mean, that's a good connection.
You would think, but still, it's, these guys are getting hammered for money, your requests every single day, pretty much. And so like here comes another hand. It's like, yeah, at some point you got to sympathize with them, and they go, I've had enough people ask me for money. Everybody go away. But it's like, but you also, How many people use this as their business logo and they don't contribute? Some of them do, some of them don't. Every boat that passes by, every photo that's taken, every social media post that's taken, but it's like, could you, $5, $10, you know, it's just something to help us, because keeping these things going, it's never done. We get this thing restored, it's not like you just walk away. It's like the Golden Gate Bridge. You paint it, you start again. You paint it, you start it, it never ends. Especially iron or salt water, not a good combination, as you can clearly see.
So maybe for this video, what I could do is provide a link to the website and all of that, and you know, try to make this popular. We were just talking about how this isn't technically ran by the state, but they have to do fundraising themselves. They have to do lighthouse restorations themselves. Maybe if this video goes viral or becomes popular or something like that, we can really shed light on the lighthouse and some of the fundraising that they do. I think that would be really cool if I provided like a website link.
I would appreciate it.
And you know, try to blow this up, because this does help boats that are lost in the ocean. There is some value here. It's very, very cool. It's a cool Pompano Beach landmark, but definitely fundraising can be a challenge. So I'll provide the website link, and hopefully this can you know, shed light on the cause.
It's screwed together. It's not welded, it's not riveted, it's slotted and screwed together so they can take it apart if they needed to and move it. There would have been a toolbox in here, a big wooden chest. Kept a lot of tools in here so the keepers could get some work done here if they needed to. But there was 4 of these lighthouses made, different heights, all up on the East Coast. And each one of them had a little wood burning stove here. So you can look, there was the smokestack. Didn't even last a year. They didn't need it because of all the heat down here. So they lugged this big iron fireplace up here for nothing.
Yeah, it's a good workout. I would say for me, it's a little dizzying the first time you go up all these stairs, and it's a good workout, but it's something really cool to do it. I highly recommend being in South Florida, doing a lighthouse tour. At the top of the lighthouse right now. I'm almost surprised there isn't more security. Like, I almost feel like it's a little dizzying, and like I'm gonna drop my camera off this thing. Like, pretty high up right now, pretty high up in Pompano Beach, but just a stunning view. And this is one of the coolest things I've ever done in Broward. I mean, this is pretty nice.
Start seeing some sharks out here, some different types of either stingrays, small eagle rays. Every now and then we'll get some manatee swimming by, but since we don't have grasses growing here, they don't really hang out here. They just kind of pass by. Unless we get a weed line in, then they'll come up and try and feed off of that. Turtles, if you look on the beach right now, you can see we are loaded with turtle nests. Absolutely loaded with turtle nests. Somebody just spotted one about like 5 in the afternoon, which is very rare. So we have plenty of turtles down here. So without the big glare, you'll be able to see a lot more. Same thing with the inlet. As the tide goes out, it's all murky because all the canal water. As the tide comes in, it's all
All right, so Ralph just told me that we're gonna go to an exclusive part that is usually only reserved for the gala or exclusive things, but we're gonna check out the lens of the lighthouse. This is where a lot of the stuff goes down. This is how they can help boats. This is why lighthouses exist. So we're gonna check out an exclusive side that a lot of people can't normally check out. Okay, so you're just saying this is all part of the lens system, and it actually came from France?
Yeah, so
this is French?
So the pedestal, the mercury trough, usually float on mercury, and then the lens platform itself. This is all one unit that came from this particular company. And it's funny because like back in the day, people saw it in 82 and they thought, oh, it was built in 1882. Well, actually, this is the street address of the company. It's not the year it was made. So.
And why France? Is there? Did they invent lighthouses in France, or?
They didn't invent lighthouses, but the gentleman whose principal created what's called a Fresnel lens, Augustin Jean Fresnel, was French, and they were the pioneers of it. So they had the most companies there that made lenses. There was the Chance Brothers in England. There was a couple others, like there was one in Germany, a couple other ones, but the French pretty much made the most of them.
Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that they're into lighthouses in France, but I guess anywhere where there's a big coastline or something like that,
Yep.
they're gonna need it.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's what everybody knows.
Wow. This is beautiful. Wow.
That is everybody's reaction the first time they walk out there.
Wow, it's like a gigantic, I don't even know how to describe it. Describe it like a gigantic orb.
It's a working piece of art. It's a functional piece of art is what it is. Because every Fresnel, there's different types. There's like what's called a beehive. This is called a bivalve or a clamshell. So what you see on one side, you have on the other. So we have two beams of light that go out. There's 358 pieces of glass, actually 357, one's acrylic. When the light broke down in the 1990s, somebody borrowed one of the prisms as a souvenir. We couldn't get it back, so there's a guy who actually makes these now. He used to work for Disney. He's making a brand new lens for Cape Hatteras. He's put them in a bunch of different lighthouses. They're actually functional. And he came down here because he never saw one of these. And I said, hey, Dan, so prism is missing. How much is it going to cost? He goes, well, for this one piece of glass right here, if you want it in glass, at least $20,000. It's not going to match because this glass all came from the same beach. So it all has the same color to it. He goes, if we make one in acrylic, we can dye it just right. I can have it installed for $2,500. So what do you think we did? We did a $2,500 option, so we're a complete lens again.
Yeah, so he mentioned that there's a kind of a Disney connection with this orb, this lens that can shine light and guide the boats at the lighthouse. That was the first thing that I thought, is that it kind of reminds me of some sort of art piece that you would see at a Disney ride that's well designed and looks really expensive. It also reminds me of some of the production design from a recent, I believe it was a Disney movie that I saw. I want to say Disney. It's based off the Broadway play called Wicked, where they go into certain rooms in Wicked. It has a very fantasy type of look, but this is very majestic. It's very beautiful looking. This is a lot nicer than I thought, but this lens is substantial. I mean, it's really, really nice. I'm gonna try to shoot it in the best way that I can for this video, but it's really, really nice. A really great surprise on this exclusive lighthouse tour.
Part of the reason why we used to.
That's kind of like the base of it, and then
yes,
come up.
It's the platform. This is the wood actually used to float on mercury. Now it's on ball bearings.
I mean, just what an engineering challenge, and the labor that goes into creating a lighthouse. I mean, this is really, really no joke. So at least for me personally, there's only so much time I'd want to spend up here, especially during the daytime. It's very hot and sunny. I'm a runner. I can take I can take a workout and some sweat, but it's more of just the overwhelming light. Lots of sunlight coming in. You see how bright it gets during the day. I definitely should have brought my sunglasses. But it's really incredible, so long ago, how they were able to construct the lighthouse, pull off this engineering feat, and go so high up and go up and down and carry heavy weight and things like that. Kind of reminds me, I think, society has gotten soft with certain things that we're building. Sometimes people complain about sitting on a computer indoors during the day and not being able to get that work done. I think people have gotten kind of soft, including myself, with building things or working on things. But it's just a reminder, when you have some determination, you can definitely build and construct certain things. And you see the use and value of the lighthouse today.
Really don't touch the prisms when you go by.
All right, it's an amazing relief being back out towards the wind outside. I was just talking to Ralph. He said he was by the lens one day. He was doing some work. When he was up there, he weighed himself before and after, and you said you lost 14 pounds?
14 pounds of sweat because we were cleaning the lens, so it took several hours to do. And you're either inside the lens, so you got that magnifying glass effect on you, or you're on the other side, just getting battered with heat. So yeah, I lost 14 pounds of sweat.
Yeah, I feel it already. Just a really nice relief being outside, experiencing the wind. After being up there, it gets so hot. So one question that I do have is, like, with this Hillsborough Inlet Lighthouse, how does it compare with other lighthouses in the state of Florida? Like, is it the biggest, or how would you say this one sizes up?
Oh, we're the best.
Okay.
Clearly, yeah. No, we're not the biggest. You have St. Augustine and Ponce, which are brick, which are way taller than us. And you have Boca Grande, which is just a little cottage place, which is way smaller than us. Like, we're right in the middle. But we are unique. They tried to build, when they built Jupiter, they wanted to build one here. Congress wouldn't allow it. So if they did, we probably would have had a brick lighthouse. But you notice we're not, for a reason, because of the substrate underneath us. It's actually drilled down to that coral underneath us. Allows us to rock and not fall over. If we would have gotten the money originally, we would have had a brick one. It would have probably fallen over into the inlet a long time ago. Because when we get bad hurricanes coming through here, all this beach gets eroded out. So I've actually been down next to the foundation, like a good 8 feet down, because of the storm surge taking that out. So this thing would have fallen over a long time ago.
Very cool. Yeah, this one's really nice. I've been to South Carolina lighthouses, in SC. It's definitely not as nice as this one. You get a great view. The water's really nice in South Florida. Nice and high up here. That's at least my opinion. Maybe this could be a series on the channel checking out different lighthouses around America, but this one's pretty nice.
And to keep us seeing things you've never seen before, but the big culmination scene actually takes place right here. So the hero's up here, bad guy's right here. He's about ready to shoot him. The bad guy's girlfriend winds up shooting him here, and he falls straight down. These obviously weren't here at the time. But the funny thing is, they did the exteriors down at Cape Florida, which is a brick lighthouse. And they did the interiors here, and as they're running past the windows, you can see out the windows you can see our iron legs right there. It's like, guys, a little continuity here, make it look a little bit better. But so that movie was shot here, and the star of the movie was a guy named Steve Alamo. He was like a singer, and they were trying to like know this kind of a thing where he would make movies. And Dick Clark had a show before American Bandstand. It was called Where the Action Is, I think it was called. And they actually filmed that down here while they were filming the movie at the same time. So that happened here. They've used the exterior for a couple other movies. They tried filming, I think it was a Chevy commercial, where they actually brought the cars in and put it on the beach, and the keeper here at the time was like, "That's a really bad idea, guys." "No, it's a really bad." It's like a Corvette they were modeling out there, and thing just right into the sand. Told you it was a bad idea, guys.
So the person who maintains the lighthouse is called the lighthouse keeper?
Yes.
Okay.
So originally there was a head keeper, we had a first assistant and a second assistant. And then it was electrified, they got rid of the second assistant. And then when the Coast Guard took over, the keeper was actually called an officer in charge with the designation of lighthouse keeper. And it's kind of what we do today. We have a lot of lighthouses that do gray paint all over, you know where it came from. look at the schedule, see what kind of people are staying here next week. Mostly might be Ken Herman, who's the president of the Preservation Society, who's here. Ken next week.
All right, so the tour is all done. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to add the website and more information about the lighthouse. Really, really incredible tour. One of the nicest tours I've ever been on. I feel a little bad because I'm not exactly like a lighthouse expert, and I'm not exactly like, I don't know, I don't have like 50 plus years of experience in South Florida or Pompano Beach to really like dig deep about, you know, the city and the lighthouse. I also wasn't in the Coast Guard or anything like that, like a boat captain. But I'm just, you know, kind of like an attendee today. I'm just a, you know, a videographer and a filmmaker trying to shoot this in a cool way. And I think I'm able to kind of express that interest through some of the clips. So sorry if I'm not getting into some super like complex engineering questions or anything like that. But maybe in the comment section, you guys might know of some good questions. But I'm gonna add the website and some of the fundraising and some of the things that they're doing to really try to make their cause popular in what they're doing. But Ralph, any final remarks or ways that you can plug the website or let people know about this?
Sure, it's hillsborolighthouse.org. Just go right to the front page there. There's a donate button. We'll take anything, $1, $1,000, whatever you can help us with, because it's all volunteer run and we get 0 federal dollars. We get hardly any municipality dollars. To get money from the local municipalities, there's a lot of effort. So we try and get a little bit of help from anybody who loves lighthouses.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the tour today.
Sure.
It was amazing.
Thanks for coming.